Ever been stuck behind that person at the gate wrestling with a suitcase that's way too big for the overhead bin? Or maybe you've been that person? No shame. But here's the thing, carry-on travel is not as simple as just pack less. There are some common mistakes and things you should consider when it comes to carry-on travel, and I'm here to help you become a pro at it. First, if you think carry-on travel is only for light packers or minimalist travelers, guess again. I truly think anyone can do it, and that's partly why I started this channel. So if it's your first time here, check out some of my other packing tips videos. There are all kinds of packing tricks and hacks you can utilize to pare down everything you need, including shoes, into only one carry-on bag or a carry-on bag and a personal item bag. One of my favorite strategies is the 3x3 packing system. This is where you choose 9 articles of clothing that all work together, so you could create 27 different outfits. Or choose fabrics like merino wool so that you can rewear shirts 10 times before you need to wash them, so you can pack fewer clothes. Myth number 2 is that all carry-ons are created equal. They most definitely are not. Size, weight, and design matters. And just the fact that a bag is labeled or marketed as carry-on does not necessarily mean that it is. So before you buy any piece of luggage, make sure you check the measurements against what airlines you'll be traveling on. And you do have to include the wheels and the handle in these measurements too, because it all has to fit in the sizer if you get asked to size your bag before boarding. That's why I like my Monos carry-on, since it's nice and slim and fits on almost every airline. You also need to consider weight restrictions, if there are any. On most North American flights, there aren't, but on a lot of European, Australian, and Asian airlines, there are weight limits. This is when the Travel Pro is a great option. And also consider features, things like whether a hard shell is best for you, or if you want something soft-sided with exterior pockets. Consider handles as well. Are you going to be able to comfortably lift this bag into the overhead bin? For example, on the Travel Pro Max Light bags, not only are they lightweight, they've strategically designed the handles to make it really ergonomic to lift into the overhead bin. That brings me to my next point, which is the issue with clamshell suitcases. I don't mind them, but I do prefer bags that open from the top. Getting access to anything in the bag requires you to find a large horizontal space where you can open up both halves of the luggage completely and unzip the compartments. This isn't a big deal if you're going to be flying with another small bag like a backpack, tote bag, or purse. This really comes down to personal preference. If you're using a clamshell case, I would recommend at least having a second bag with you, something like a backpack, a tote bag, or a small duffel. Something that you can keep quick access items in. Because when you're going through security, for example, if you have to pull anything out of your bag, it's kind of a pain to open up the clamshell, especially if it's packed full on both sides. Same with if you need something mid-flight. Having a bag where you can just open the lid from the top is way more useful in my opinion. But if you're not going to need to open up your bag and access anything while you're in transit, probably not a big deal which style you choose. That leads me to my next point, which is the liquids rule. This is where a lot of people get hung up. Just remember to pack your liquids into containers that are 100 milliliters or 3.4 ounces or less. You can have multiple containers of those sizes or smaller, as long as it fits in one quart-size clear bag. And if you don't think you can minimize the amount of liquids you bring, I have just the video for you. Another thing I've heard some people mention is that they don't like hauling around a suitcase in the airport while they're making their way to the gate. And that is a fair point. But I think a high quality bag that's lightweight and rolls ultra smooth would make all of the difference. Not checking a bag allows you to not have to show up at the airport extra early, not having to wait at the luggage carousel, or ever wondering if your luggage is actually going to make it onto your connecting flight. And back to choosing a bag, don't buy a bag on looks and aesthetics alone. There are so many companies that are designing beautiful looking bags, but beyond looking ultra sleek and stylish, they lack key features or they're the incorrect size. So make sure the bag that you choose has everything you need and nothing you don't. Try not to worry about scratches, scuffs, and dings. These are souvenirs from the adventures you've taken it on. And most bags these days do have TSA locks, but no lock will deter a competent thief. Most stolen items are the entire bags themselves, locked or not. Price is a major decision factor when it comes to luggage, and it's not always you get what you pay for. In most cases, yes, but like I alluded to earlier, some companies can market really well and therefore charge a lot more than what the bag is actually worth. If you're traveling once or twice a year and your luggage is going from the airport to the Uber to the hotel and that's it, a lower cost bag will probably serve you just fine. If you're traveling more than that and will be taking multiple forms of transit, navigating train stations and into small hotels without elevators, or traveling for business, you're probably going to want to invest in something of higher quality. A question that often comes up is, what about leaving room for shopping or bringing home souvenirs? If you plan to shop and bring home more than what's going to fit in your carry-on, you could try the dirty duffel trick. This is when you pack a lightweight duffel bag, something that packs flat and doesn't take up too much room in your carry-on. At the end of your trip, when you're packing up and heading home, use this duffel bag to pack your dirty clothes and then check that bag. Then keep all of your souvenirs and valuables in your carry-on. That way, if your luggage is lost and you don't get it back for a few days, it's not a big deal because you're home now. Hopefully this video cleared up some misconceptions about carry-on travel, or if you've never done it before, maybe you now have the confidence to do it. For all kinds of carry-on travel tips, check out my channel. I have lots of videos showing you how to pack and which bags to bring. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.